Welcome to the Lakeland Rotary Club, everyone. I'm Carol Wallace, president of this club, and it is the 48th week of the Rotary year, and I'm going to call on Andra Morgan for our invocation and pledge. Andra?
Thank you, President Carol.
Oh, sorry.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to bless our meeting today, and we thank you for the technology to be able to meet during this pandemic time. Father, we just humble ourselves before you, and we ask that you heal our land and heal the people that have been stricken with this horrible virus. Father, we are thankful for those of us who can continue to do business, who can continue to earn a decent wage and contribute to Rotary to build better friendships, better nations, and to invest in other people's lives and make them better. We thank you for this day, and we thank you for your many blessings. Amen.
Amen.
And for the four-way test.
No, we do the pledge first, Andrew, please.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
I'm sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And for the four-way test,
of the things
is it true?
We think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Things we think, say, and do. Is it true? Is it fair for all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Right. Thank you, Andra. Okay. Introduction of guests. I know we have Alex Delanoy. Is Brandon on the call?
I don't think he was able to make it this week.
Okay. All right. Well, Alex, thank you very much. Tell us just a little about yourself. Are you a Lakelander, and where do you work?
I'm originally from France, but I've lived in Lakeland for 10 years, and I'm a commercial real estate broker with KW Commercial.
Wonderful. Hope you'll come back and join us. Glad you're here. Any other guests? Great. Other guests? Do we have on the call one of our special guests, either our District Governor Kip or past District Governor Gary or past District Governor Joyce?
Past District Governor Gary is here. Hello.
Okay, I'm so sorry I didn't introduce you first. You slipped in unawares. Our special guest,
sorry.
past District Governor Gary Gunter. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce my husband, Randy. This is a real treat to have him here. It's his first day of being retired, so we'll enjoy that.
Great. Congratulations, Randy, and glad you're here.
Thank you.
Other guests with us today? Are there any visiting Rotarians besides District Governor Gary? Past District Governor Gary? All righty. How about some happy dollars? Surely over the Memorial Day weekend. I have a happy dollar. Okay.
I am celebrating my 40th birthday today. So I'm going to make a donation to the foundation and keep with the Rotary tradition and celebrate this next decade.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I'm going to add a happy dollar for my birthday that I had on Saturday. I'm going to send $100 to the foundation, and no, I'm not 100 years old. That's just what I do on my birthday. So that's my happy dollar.
I have a happy dollar, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie.
We did a post-COVID, not really post yet, but trip this weekend to Cedar Key. And went fishing, and I caught a shark for the first time. So, which I released it, but it was a lot of fun and a lot of work, but I loved it. So,
wow. How big was it, and how long did it take to reel it in?
Well, it wasn't that big. I'd say about 2 feet. It was a bonnet-head shark, and probably about 5, 6, 7 minutes, somewhere around there, between 5 and 10 minutes.
You're good. That's
It was
great.
fun. Yeah. Well, my husband was helping too. So, thank you.
Okay. Other happy dollars?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
We can.
Awesome. Okay, I know I've missed a few meetings, so this is kind of old news, but I think it's new news for the Rotary Club.
Tell us who's sharing, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but a lot of us can't see all of our photos at the same time, so just tell who's sharing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, this is Scott Laurent.
Okay, Scott, thank you.
Yep. My oldest Isabel has picked her university. It went down to the wire between Purdue and Florida, and she's decided to stay in the state. So I actually now have a Florida team to root for. She's going to be a Gator. Very excited for her.
Great. That's awesome. Congratulations to her.
Thank you.
This is Dean Hart. I've got a couple of happy dollars. One is for my birthday, which was the same day as Carol. And the other one is my daughter had a doctor's appointment 2 days ago in New York City. And when she got there, she was required to take a COVID-19 test. And they emailed her in a couple hours and she was negative. So that's good news.
That's good news. Yes, very good news.
I have a happy dollar. I have a couple of happy dollars. One is to celebrate the fact that my husband's going to enjoy retirement starting today. And the other one is I celebrated my birthday last Tuesday and we were gone, so I'm going to send the donation to the foundation later. But
great. Thank you, Karen. Okay, last call for happy dollars. All right, we'll go on to announcements, and I'm going to let Gary. Gary, you have an update for us?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I want to, this is past District Governor Gary Gunter, and I want to thank you, all of you in your club for being so amazing. Because I think Carol actually has the latest numbers, but your generosity is really touching, and we are making incredible progress because of you. Some of you may have seen District Governor Skip, his email this morning about our progress. We've raised over $80,000 in cash and pledges, and we're moving quickly towards $100,000. And then once we do that, we have a major public initiative that we'll be announcing very soon, which will go out and reach out to the public to complete the other 100,000. So we think that's going to be very exciting, and so stay tuned for that. And I see a lot of friendly faces that I haven't seen in a long time on these little teeny screens. So you look quite different, but it's great seeing all of you, and I really appreciate everything that you're doing. I think we have some fantastic opportunities. We've been talking to Feeding Tampa Bay. They're very excited about working with you to put on distribution events. Right now they're working on putting together a mega pantry in Lakeland, which should happen very soon. And so as soon as I find out about that, we're going to give you the information, and those of you that feel comfortable doing that sort of thing can help distribute the meals. We'll have some tremendous participation and volunteer opportunities for the people that can do that. And everybody else, just thank you for your participation. And I know you guys have been challenging each other, and it's very exciting.
Great. Thank you, Gary. And for those updated numbers, I do have some. Just to remind everybody, the goal for the entire district is to raise $200,000 in the month of May for 1 million meals. The total raise so far, as Gary said, is around 80,000, but I think it's growing by the minute. I've gotten emails from him right before the meeting started about additional donations. As of yesterday, our club's donations were $6,225, and Joyce Gunter emailed me that we by far exceed any other club in the district. So Chuck, unmute everybody and let's give us a round of applause and a pat on the back. We deserve it. And the challenge is continuing. That does not include emails I got this morning from Sue Shield. She's making a donation, and her sweet dear mother, who is 90-something, I believe, 96. Is donating because she loves me and I love her. And we got a $500 donation from Anna Gillespie. So way to go, folks. Thank you so much. Okay, and along the giving lines, every week I talk about continuing our donations for the foundation. We definitely want to remember our local needs, but also those on a more national and international scale. So just keep saving our lunch money. I think we're up to $132 now that we've saved in lunch money, so I hope you'll contribute that to the foundation. And a lot of you have asked me about updates on when we might ever be able to meet at the church again. And I still don't have a firm answer, but we did get a text this morning from Mike Stasiak, who runs the kitchen for us and prepares our meals. The church leaders are meeting again on June the 8th to make some decisions, or hopefully make some decisions. So they won't give us even a hint of what that might be, but it looks like other churches are going to be opening for groups sometime in July. So just keep our fingers crossed. And as soon as we know something, we will pass that on to you. Okay? All right. Today, we have a new member induction. This is always one of my favorite things on the agenda. I get to induct Christine Crowell into our club. Christine has lived in Lakeland for 20 years. She has 3 children, ages 18, 23, and 26. That's about how old she looks herself. She currently works as an employee benefits consultant with All Trust Insurance for the last 6.5 years. Prior to that, Christine owned Crowell Insurance Group in downtown Lakeland. She is a former VP of program of Boy Scouts of America, a Brotherhood member, Order of the Arrow. In her free time, Christine likes to be on the water, snow skiing. She likes to cook, travel, and read. And she is an avid Bucks and Lightning fan. Welcome, Christina. Christine, it is my pleasure to welcome you into the Lakeland Rotary Club. You're joining the oldest service organization in the world, an institution begun in 1905 by Paul Harris and 3 other businessmen in Chicago. Today, Rotarians number 1.2 million members in 34,000 clubs in more than 200 countries. The Lakeland Rotary Club was founded in 1918, the 6th club in Florida. For the past 102 years, this club has served this community and others throughout the world in need, growing to its current membership of over 200 members, one of the largest in the state. You are joining a club with a proud tradition and a continuing commitment to service above self. We invite you to get to know all of our members through fellowship and service and have fun while doing it. You will be provided the opportunity to learn about our community through programs and serve on various committees dedicated to Rotary ideals. Whether you prefer local or international service projects, you will have ample opportunities to serve. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our newest Rotarian, Christine Crowell.
Thank you, everyone.
Glad to have you. We'll be glad to know you in person soon. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Don Selvage, who was so gracious as to arrange for our presenter today. Don?
Well, thank you, President Carroll. It is my pleasure to welcome Christina Criser-Jackson back to United Way. I've had her over as a guest a couple times and trying to convince her to join our Rotary Club.
Maybe this will do the trick.
You know what? Maybe this will do it.
Yeah.
But United Way, as we all know, is known for its annual campaign and its sustained support of our community over a 12-month period. But United Way also responds to emergencies like hurricanes and pandemics. And so I've asked Christina to come here to talk about
United Way's recent partnerships with the GiveWell Community Foundation and the Board of County Commissioners. Christina, a graduate of University of Florida, has dedicated her life to nonprofit work. She's got a master's degree in family, youth, and community sciences. She is passionate about improving lives and strengthening our community. She started her career at United Way worldwide, and she's been with the United Way Central Florida for a number of years. She's a member of the Junior League of Greater Lakeland and the Association of Fundraising Professionals. We call her the Wonder Woman. In the last 18 months, this lady has gotten married to Eric Jackson, who's with Allen Investments. They bought a home over by Cleveland Heights. They've got a new daughter, Olivia.
Wow.
So in the last 18 months, she's married, motherhood, bought a home in Lakeland, and took over United Way a little over a year ago. So you can see she can certainly multitask. And I've got to mention as well her cohort, and that's Rod Crowley, who's recently become the Chief Operating Officer, replacing Penny Borgia at United Way. And Rod is a real catch. If you don't know Rod, he's a wonderful philanthropist and giver back to the community. So please join me in welcoming Christina and Rod. Christina, it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Don. And we greatly appreciate this opportunity to come talk to you again. The last time we were talking to you about the ABCs of United Way and community impact, and that's still the main business model for United Way of Central Florida. But in the last couple of months, of course, things have changed. And I want to start off by talking about our partners because they are the most important part of our organization and our business. I saw that Pam Craven and some others were on this call and want to send as many kudos as we possibly can to the resiliency of our nonprofit partners. They have truly demonstrated that they can serve in all types of weather. They have gone remote, they're serving clients, and it's just an honor to work with so many amazing nonprofit partners and 501c3s. We are going to show you a few examples, actually live examples today. When we were asked if we'd like to provide a PowerPoint, we're sure that you have had PowerPoint overload or even death by PowerPoint. So we wanted to show you an exciting example of our programs live and in action as we're talking and as we're speaking right now. So just in a minute, Rod Crowley is going to show you live from LVIM, one of our End Hunger sites, but wanted to give you a little bit of background about United Way for those that didn't know. We are driven by community impact, and so one of the reasons why most of our staff have decided to work for United Way of Central Florida is that they can look a donor in the eye and say you are making the greatest impact, addressing the greatest needs at the time. So our 4 primary target areas are education, income, health, and safety net. And one of the great things about United Way is that we do address the greatest needs. So in this situation of COVID-19 and the pandemic, our business has changed quite a bit. We haven't forgotten our business model and our traditional way of giving. So even this morning, we had a couple of meetings about our community investment process and how we allocate those funds. But United Way is looking a little bit different right now, as I'm sure it has for all of you in your business. So Rod is, I believe that his video is being highlighted, but we're going to take you to one of our End Hunger sites. Started to kick off March 4th, right before the pandemic really hit Florida and, of course, Polk County. We had 17 sites that we identified in Polk County as insecure as far as food, and that were sites that you could consider a large percentage of our population are hungry. Those 17 sites now include locations in City, Auburndale, Kathleen, Eagle, Point Siena. So we're truly covering Polk County in the areas where there is the greatest need for food. Where Rod is showing you, and I hope you all can see it, cut me off if you can't, but what Rod's showing you right now is one of our food drops at LVIM. And LVIM, Lakeland Volunteers in Medicine, has been a long-time partner of United Way of Central Florida. And they provide, through United Way funding, a prescription center and then also other medical services during a typical environment. But what Rod's showing you is actually their food distribution site. And Rod, if you can hear us, can you explain what you're showing?
Yeah, sure thing. So hopefully you can all see my video. I started kind of in the staging parking lot. One of the biggest things we were challenged with at these food drop sites is that traffic, we went from a park and walk up method to overnight food lines with vehicles, just due to the safety and not having people mingling and being outside their vehicles and that. So LBIM today is going to serve about 250 vehicles. So they start out early in the morning staging vehicles and having people check in. They just have to give us their zip code and how many people they're serving or they're taking home for. They can pick up for multiple households if they have multiple adults in the vehicle. And then they are released about 10 cars at a time in a very orderly fashion. They come to the other side of the property in the parking lot here, and we have what's called a mobile food pantry. So that means we have trucks bring food in. It comes in either frozen or refrigerated. It's dropped on the ground on pallets, and then within about 15 minutes of the food being delivered, we start boxing it up and handing it out. So you can kind of get an idea live of what the process looks like. All of them have a little bit different traffic flow and different challenges, but you can kind of get an idea. They get a great box of frozen meat. We also have a additional 14-pound turkey for everybody today. They get other frozen meat. They get fresh produce. They've also gotten produce delivered and milk from Publix as part of their farmer to family food box program that's been incorporated in that. Today we have a lot of squash, tomatoes, breads, and like I said, those turkeys and other meats. So quite a few people served. This pantry today, what's called a mobile pantry, will serve about 250 vehicles and 350 families, just in about an hour and a half period. So, any questions for me on that?
Yeah, if someone has a question, just unmute yourself and go ahead and ask.
Hey, Rob, it's Lori Martini. Good to see you. I have a question about, tell us where they're getting the food from, especially because our club is very engaged in working with Feeding Tampa Bay. Help us understand where all the food drops are getting food from at this time.
Yeah, so we have a partnership with Feeding Tampa Bay, so they deliver to all 17 of our sites twice a month. So they're either the first and third of a certain day of the week or the second and fourth of a certain day of the week. Feeding Tampa Bay brings us in anywhere from about 7,000 to 8,000 pounds of food. When COVID first hit, we saw that kind of drop in half just because the donations weren't there as far as dollars and as far as the amount of food that was obviously being bought off the shelves of the stores could not be donated that normally would be donated. We did have the George Jenkins Foundation come in and help us purchase some extra supplemental meat, that's where those turkeys came from today, just to help during that kind of a period where the donations were down. But we are seeing those rebound now to we're having more like that 7,000 to 8,000 pounds per drop come in like we previous saw. But Feeding Tampa Bay is a big partner of ours. They are supplying the food for all of our drops. And like I said, we've been able to secure some other free donations from different distributors and purchase some items at deep discount costs from food service providers that are helping us out too. So it's really been a team effort from multiple sources. I appreciate that question.
Hello, Rod. This is Karen Moore talking. How do people sign up for this? Do they need to belong to something, sign up for something? What's the parameters?
So all they have to do is have a need, and they check in at each site and give their zip code and how many people they're picking up for and how many children they're picking up for. So there's no sign up other than that. We don't ask for any personal information. It's all based on need at each location. And the way we created or chose our 17 sites in Polk County, we chose what are called food deserts, which are the 17 areas where the most meals per week were missed. So over 5 meals per week are missed in those neighborhoods where we chose to put these.
Thank you.
This is Dean Hart. Other than the George Jenkins Foundation, what level of participation are you getting from Publix supermarkets?
Publix is specifically donating to the farmers to families food box program. So they have actually purchased milk and produce from farmers that's being donated to Feeding Tampa Bay, and then it's in turn being brought on the trucks to our drops. So indirectly, what they're doing with that program is coming to our drops in that specific way.
Thank you.
Rod, this is Pam Craven, and I was wondering if there was any way that we as Rotarians could help.
I don't know that Rod could hear you, but I can speak to that. We will put the link in the chat box, but there's an opportunity to sign up and volunteer at those sites. And as we're watching the video, I'm looking for it because I know Mr. Mayor is looking for it too. They are following health guidelines for a food drop. They are limited in what they're able to handle as far as the connection of getting the food into the automobiles, but everyone is wearing masks, as you can see Rod is, and gloves. They're also staying 6 feet apart when at all possible. We do advise if there are any volunteers that are more susceptible to COVID-19, this is probably not the project for you at this time, but as soon as it opens up a little bit more, we would be grateful for you to participate.
Hi, Christina. This is Larry Rankin. I want to thank United Way for providing donations of food to Call to Serve farm workers in Mulberry. Danny Higgins, the director of this new 501c3, really appreciates the help, and I assist them about once a week in distributions. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for that. And Rod, we appreciate that little snippet in that live video. We have some other areas to cover, but we're grateful for your leadership. And at any time, if you want to reach out to Rod or myself, we'd be happy to discuss these food drops more. As Rod had mentioned earlier, these food drops were established to feed about 150 families per drop. And he mentioned that we have 17 sites throughout the county with 2 drops per month. And we're looking at more 300 to 400 families utilizing those drops each time. This is one of our programs that we do not have any restrictions. If you're hungry and you're in search of food, we are allowing you to just show up and receive that assistance. Quite a bit of our other programs do have restrictions or recommendations, but this is one that we know individuals are being impacted at various ways and various measures as a result of pandemic and COVID-19. So it's a service that's open to the community. Thank you so much, Rod. Speaking of which, if you are looking for assistance and if you are looking at need, we still have our 211 system. And 211 is similar to 411 or dialing 911. But if you're in need of resources or services, you can call 211. It's 24/7, 365 days a year, and there is a text and chat capability. Another thing that we've found is so important during this time of need is that it also has a translation platform and template. So if there's someone that is needing assistance with a language other than English, they can easily call, and there's actually 5 translators, but it can translate over to 100 different languages. So that's another resource. We've seen a drastic increase in those calls and those requests in Polk, Highlands, and Hardy County. We typically have about 500 calls or contacts per month, and we're seeing roughly around 3,500 in the last 2 months. So there has been a drastic increase. I'm seeing Mark Hutek coming up, and I heard Debbie Burdett earlier. We are so grateful for so many of our partners, as we had said, being resilient. But one of those programs that someone may call for, and that we're getting quite a bit of calls for, is for childcare. And the ELC Explorations 5 and YMCA have helped us identify those areas in those childcare centers that can help us with those community members that are in need. We also, we spoke a little bit about Publix's involvement with the food drops. I also wanted to add that many of the Jenkins family members have been very generous in helping us provide for those supplemental food drops. And the George Jenkins Foundation has donated over $200,000 in addition just in the last month to provide what we're considering booster shots to those food drops. We also have been looking at the homeless student population, and we've been working with the school board and have identified students that are in need. Many of them were already in need before COVID-19, but they have new needs and new requests that they haven't faced before this situation. We also mentioned and I know I'm running out of time, but we also mentioned.
No, you've got time. You're good.
Okay, good, okay. Well, we also mentioned the United Community Relief Fund, and I would be remiss to say that you have the expert as one of your fellow Rotarians, and that's Lori Martini. She has just been an amazing asset, a coach, a mentor, and a great partner to us over the last couple of months. And we are so excited for John Attaway also joining the team. But the United Community Relief Fund was set up so that individuals could assist and could help during this pandemic in an individual capacity. So donations as small as, I think we've seen a couple dollars, all the way up to a match that was generously donated of $50,000, has generated over $570,000 to help support nonprofits and other 501c3s that are struggling right now. And when I say that, they are serving individuals that have been impacted by COVID-19. So a couple of examples may be rent, mortgage, utility assistance, childcare, like we mentioned, and yes, Joel Ivy. Lori Martini is a bit of a rock star, but we've been providing assistance to them to help them serve their clients in different ways. Lori, I know you're on the call. Would you like to add anything to that?
Well, forget the rock star status. This was a wonderful collaboration, and GiveWell was delighted to work with the United Way, and I think we learned a lot along the way, and all for the betterment of our community. So we thank the United Way, Christina, Rod, her entire team there. And we appreciate what the whole community has done to rally behind. We've learned a lot. Things are changing every day. And we are so glad to have the United Way here in Polk County doing the things that they're doing and assisting our citizens. So keep up the great work, Christina, and get some rest.
So then the other item that we've just taken on is the Polk County Unites program. And we are really excited about this partnership as well with the Polk County BOCC. And just a couple of weeks ago, they came to us with a good problem to have, which is they had the $126 million coming to Polk County as part of the CARES Act. And a section of that, $30 million, was designated to human services and providing relief to individuals that are in need. The restrictions include a household income of $75,000 or less, and the individual being impacted financially by COVID-19 in the pandemic. So that could include someone that was furloughed, laid off, or had a decrease in pay. You all hopefully heard of the online portal that they have, which is part of the EOC, and they are actually hosting where you can apply online and receive an additional assistance of $2,000 to help with mortgage, rent, and utility assistance. Where United Way comes into play is that we have a network of experts in the field. And with those experts, we know where the clients live. We know where they live. We know where they work. We know how they interact with your children, your grandchildren, your parents, yourselves. And we know that they're also able to facilitate the greatest need and to identify where those clients are and address them. These are already individuals looking for assistance. So whether they're at the ELC and receiving childcare, or they're at Mulberry Care Center and they're receiving financial assistance, they already have a grasp of where those clients are that are already in need. And so they are helping to provide direct assistance, again, whether it's mortgage, rent, utility, food, childcare, or even adult care. We are helping them to provide that assistance. We have 25 partners that are helping facilitate that. It launched today, so we are waiting for their MOUs, and we're excited to serve those clients in a bigger way. Keep a lookout for the press release. We'll have those locations listed, and as you all are encountering individuals that are in need, which I believe and understand all of you as leaders in this community and as Rotarians are probably receiving calls for where can I get help, where do I go, I need more assistance. We will have that list and those partners listed out for you. But we just greatly appreciate your leadership and your support. And if you have any other questions, I'm available at any time.
I have a logistics question, and Gary may know the answer to this too, but part of our club's funds, at least 2,500 are going to Feeding Tampa Bay. 2 local food pantries and groups of Rotarians will come and pack the boxes to distribute. Will that be through the United Way? I mean, because it's to go to food deserts, the mobile food pantries. Is that through y'all? That's the local partner?
We have a meeting on Friday to meet with their president to better understand their efforts throughout the community.
Right.
There are currently food drops, like the one at YMCA off of Cleveland Heights. We didn't identify that as a food desert, but we have been sending volunteers their way. So even though it may not be a United Way food drop, we're still helping and providing volunteers. So I don't want to say it's not one of our programs, but we're just all trying to collaborate together.
Okay, it sounded so similar. I thought that they may send the food to y'all for distribution. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Thank
but
you.
We'll find out. We'll clarify that.
Christina, this is Don Selvage. I know that with the partnership with the Board of County Commissioners, United Way, as I understand it, will be the focal point for distributing $15 million in a little over 30 days to our partner agencies. Can you tell us how that is going to work on the ground, how we vet to determine what partner agencies get that money?
Absolutely. So we did get that extended. We were grateful to give us a little bit more time. The portal is trying to expend the first $15 million within 30 days. But the asset that United Way brings is that we will be case managing these individuals. So as they come in and they're wanting this assistance, we'll also try to get them plugged into a credit counseling class, or we'll help them find food, help them find childcare. So our partners are going, not an extra step, but it's a slower process in that there are other levels of assistance being provided. So we actually have until October 1st, which we're grateful for. But when we first launched this, we extended an RFP to 501, which is the general tax classification for nonprofits and church foundations in the community. They then had to present their intent to apply, and that gave us an opportunity to check their 501c3 status and to ensure that they were a valid nonprofit organization. In doing that also, it allowed us to open up to new partners that are providing that assistance. I'll speak to Lake Wales Care Center. Rob Quam does an amazing job at providing assistance in the Lake Wales community, but he's not a United Way funded partner. He is a partner of ours, though, in the work that he does. So this let us open it up to new partners. We also have Florida Baptist Children's Home, which I know quite a bit of you all are involved in, and some other partners. Once they submitted their intent to apply, they had an opportunity to submit an RFP. And that's where we look at their board of directors to ensure that they have a Polk County representative. We look at their financials, their last audit, and other reporting that was required. Beyond that, we look at their capacity to serve. So we don't want any organization in the community to commit to helping us spend these funds and then not be set up to do so. We look at their capacity to serve a target area, all of Polk County. And when I say all of Polk County, I mean if they are focused on Lakeland, like an LVIM would be, but then Help of Fort Meade is in Fort Meade area, we made sure and we ensured that we were covering all areas. But we do have 11 partners. I know Stacy Campbell Dominic is on the call, I believe. We do have some partners that cover all of Polk County, and they were awarded more funds. So there was a quick, fast process of vetting these organizations. We usually have much more time, but the partners moved quickly, and we do have 25 now partners that are helping facilitate this throughout Polk County.
What was the range of, I don't know if you'd call it grants, but money given to each agency? Did y'all have a range that was possible?
We did. For the application, it ranged from $30,000 to $1 million. But some of those organizations like Career Source Polk, who has a long history of providing direct assistance and case management, they were awarded more funds. So it was up to $2 million.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a lot of money to quickly spend.
Yes.
And I think the surprising thing that you'll see in case management is that it takes some time for word to grow. So when you first launch this, you'll have fewer individuals that come to you, but as they tell their family members, their peers, their associates, it does quickly grow. And we're hoping that this grows as quickly as the in-hunger sites so that we can serve these individuals and residents quickly.
Okay, any other questions for Christina? Okay, well, we got lots of great comments. Thank you so much, Christina, for sharing. But the main thing is everybody is voting that you definitely need to be a member of our club, and they are willing to trade other members for you. So
I appreciate that.
And I'll leave them unnamed, the ones that they're willing to trade. So I hope you will come back and visit us again. It was great information.
Of course.
And you did a great job.
Well, thank you for this second opportunity this year. And we're very grateful for your leadership again and all the great work that Rotary does for our community. And I do look forward to joining. I have this verbal commitment for all to see. I told Dawn as soon as life slowed down, which it doesn't seem to slow down ever. But that I also, one more thing, if I can say this, I know that we have a couple of staff members who are related to Rotary members, including John Fitzwater, and you just saw Rod Crowley, Jeanette's, some of your meetings. We have an amazing team, and I just can't thank you all enough for this opportunity to serve and to be part of this. What is very, very difficult for a lot of our nonprofits, a lot of our operations, and of course our businesses. But we had shared with one of our major donors recently that anytime you get recruited away or pulled away to another United Way, you look at our community and you can never express to them what philanthropy is like in Polk County and especially in Lakeland. And I think that's a testament of the Rotary clubs and other civic clubs. It's public supermarkets, the phosphate industry. It's just an amazing opportunity to serve in this area. So thank you all.
Yes, we have a very giving community. It's an amazing place to live. It is. So wonderful. We will get you an application by email today.
Thank you.
Strike while the iron is hot. Thank you so much. Okay, can we unmute everybody and show our appreciation? Great job. Great job. All right. Next week, our theme is back to Rotarians. Carol Jackson, most of you will remember. She was a former member of our club for a long time, and she led many Rotary trips abroad. So she's going to talk about Rotarians traveling the world and some of the programs travels that she has led. So come back, and it'll be great to see Carolyn with us. That's one of the good things about Zoom. It doesn't matter where you are. You can join us. I want to thank our guest today, Alex Delanoy. Hope you'll come back, whether Brandon joins you or not. Come on back. And Randy Moore, glad to have you. And, of course, past District Governor Gary Gunter. Thank you so much for joining us, Gary. Our weekly quote is, think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege. John D. Rockefeller, Jr. And we are adjourned, and I will see you next week. Have a great one.